Hey Eurovision fans, it's Tom coming to you from Dublin. I'm back for another Eurovision reaction video. Today I'm reacting to Alessandra singing Queen of Kings. She won Melodi Grand Prix and she'll represent Norway in Eurovision 2023. I'm going to listen and react to her live performance and see how I think this could do in Liverpool. So let's kiki. As always, I will leave timestamps in the progress bar if you want to skip straight to my reaction, which is usually after around 3 or so minutes. But first of all, I want to talk about what led up to this moment. So the final for Melodi Grand Prix was on Saturday night. It was a really fantastic show, even though someone like me, who all my favorites were knocked out, Torn in Paradise, Freya, Break It by Tyrrell. So all my top 3 songs were all gone. So it was kind of nice in a way because I actually went into the final not having like a big massive favorite, so I was more just kind of like an independent observer kind of watching what was going on, and I went into it very much like, okay, let's just see who can kind of wow me on the night, just kind of be happy with whoever Norway chooses. So obviously I've already reacted to the song before. If you want to hear me reacting to the audio for the first time, I'll leave a link up in the eye, and also if you want to see my reaction after seeing the performance in semi-final number 1, I'll also leave that up in the eye in the top corner. So keep in mind now, as I go in to watch this live performance, I have seen it before, so I'm going to be talking quite quickly, trying to cover all the things that I think really work about it and what that she needs to work on as well. Now, she's a frantic queen, like she can do 500 things at once, so I have to emulate her and try and watch and react and also point at the things I want. So she's inspired me to try and multitask in the same way that she's so impeccable at doing. Okay, this is Alessandra, Wanna Know My Secret Bang. Beautiful opening. I wonder if she's singing Italian at the start actually, I never noticed that before. Really kind of, she's a really solid performer. Vocal's lovely, a little bit breathy, but I still like it. Got that kind of very dramatic starting, and I like that we get that slower start before we get into the heavy stuff. She's got fantastic connection with the camera, and she's got choreography, but she doesn't break the performance to do it. It's not like she has to stop and do the choreography to get back. I just love her, like, everything about her. She's got this intense, like, warriorness about her. I think the dancers are great. Some people don't like them. I think the dancers do a great job in this. Here comes the beat. Yeah. It's just that high energy. It's such a bop. Reminds me of Running for the Hills by Clara from last year or the year before. Yeah, she's just got this real, like, this bit, I love these visuals the most. These where the dancers come out. Really pretty. And we see that a lot, but it does look a little bit different from what's been done before. Yeah, it's the lighting, I think, that makes it cool. The fact that the lighting gets darker and darker as they go back. Another beautiful image. She's just doing it on the head turn. She's just, she's so theatrical. It's really professional. The confidence, she goes between this vulnerability and this confidence. It's just really magnetic. And we get the light thing. I'm not sure if I'm as much into that because it kind of breaks this, like, kind of medieval theming I think we've got on before that. Love this breakup now where we kind of go from that heavy electro and again back into this like medieval Game of Thrones feel I felt we had from earlier. Okay, big note here. Lovely, just fantastic. She's a real superstar. Okay, this bit now is a tiny bit flatter compared to the rest. I feel like they could add something a little bit in there. It's incredible, like that 3 minutes just absolutely flies by. That felt like a minute. Was that 3 minutes? It's bloody hell. It's just, because there's so much happening and that we're changing through so many different parts, you just don't even get an opportunity to be bored. It's just amazing. I'm just massively impressed by this, and when I was watching the show on Saturday, like I said, I was going in with kind of an open mind, not really massively rooting for anyone. I think I had Elsie as my number 1 and her as my number 2 pre-show. But yeah, I was kind of like, somebody just grabbed me by the balls and just show me you're amazing. That was my attitude going in, and she was the one who did it. It's just that show is so entertaining. There's so much going on. And for me, it's such a stark contrast to Eurosong. You know, we had Irish national final where we saw there were some quite inexperienced and weak performances where like people were looking awkward and they weren't hitting choreography, or when they were hitting choreography, they stopped everything else. They stopped their charisma and they stopped singing. So it was like they weren't able to do these like several things at the same time. This is a really good example of how to like dance while acting, while singing, while embodying everything about the song. So like maintaining these spinning plates of like 3 or 4 different things at the same time. And I feel totally and utterly safe with her. I don't doubt that she's going to miss any note. And when she does miss a note, it feels right because it's like her vulnerability or something. It's just really powerful. For me, it's those moments where she kind of like looks to the camera. I know they're kind of cheesy, but they really work for me. They're very like entertaining and dramatic, and some elements of the song, particularly when we get into like the violin part, it makes me feel like Norse Vikings, a little bit of Arthurian legend, like Arthur, like Knights of the Round Table, which I think the costuming lends itself a bit to as well. That's why I'm not totally sure yet about the lights, because I feel like it breaks that medieval theming a tiny bit for me. Plus, I don't know if the lights are like that good, but you know, even if this was to go to Eurovision now, I still think it looks like an incredibly complete package, and also something that's very reproducible. Like really, she's already got the dancers, she's already got the lights, she can definitely do that on the stage. So this is already ready to go to Liverpool, but I do expect Norway to elevate it more just based on their pedigree of being exceptional at Eurovision and being so regularly in the top 10. But yeah, the most standout thing for me is Alessandra. She's very likable. Even after the competition, when she won, she was hugging everyone. She's jumping up and down. She seems like a very sweet girl, just really lovely. And I think you can tell that from watching the performance. It's also a stark contrast with Freya. If we look at the performance from Maria Salem, which unfortunately it was quite disappointing, that confidence seems to be like the biggest differential factor between the two of them. And I wonder what would happen if Alessandra had been singing Freya. I feel like she would have been able to have brought that to life and make it jump. I just feel like she's a winning artist. I feel like there's several songs that you could have given her and she would have made them win, because she is able to take something and just make it entertaining, because she's just an entertaining performer. So the choreography I mostly like. I think there was one bit I said there around 2/3 through where the choreography just looked maybe a little bit too flat. I like the dancers. I know some people don't like that thing where they're coming up from behind her. For me, I just really love that lighting where the men at the back are kind of darker and then the women are in like slightly more bright. But it's also the fact I like that they're not looking at the camera, so it's more like this kind of warrior battle silhouette or something. It's just an interesting take on that gimmick of popping out from behind the artist that I haven't seen before, because often they pop out and they're looking at the camera and also they're perfectly lit. So it was just that like tiny difference. And I actually took a still, I'll post here, of one of those moments, and it's just like, it almost looks like Venus de Milo. I just love it. So there's just so many things about this that are really fantastic. Coming to the song, I think it's obviously high energy. It's very fun and boppy, which is obviously going to be good with the televote. And it's also going to be a great addition to the final, because we do like these upbeat numbers we saw last year with Moldova and with Czech Republic, how these big, fun, high energy songs are really important for getting the crowd going and get the audience at home going. These songs are really vital to the competition. If you don't have them, the contest is dead. So this is really important, and I expect this will be put in a place between some ballads and it'll just wake everyone up and be really invigorate everyone. The song itself, yeah, I hadn't downloaded it. I will download this. I don't think it's going to be my most played this year. This, for me, is very similar to another winner this weekend, which was Blanca Paloma, in that I enjoy the performance more than I do the studio edit, which is a good thing for Eurovision. We have so many songs where we love the studio edit and then we see the performance and it's flat as a pancake. This is not. This is a good studio edit that absolutely comes to life, 3D, 4D, 5D, when you see the live performance, because of how talented the performer is. How do I think this will do at Eurovision? Well, first of all, let's keep in mind Norway's absolutely unbelievable record. Their qualification streak is something that I am very envious of, to the point that I'm thinking of getting Norwegian citizenship. They've only non-qualified twice, in 2011 with Haba Haba, which I thought was a great song, and 2016 with Agneta Icebreaker, which was one of my top songs that year. I was devastated that didn't qualify. I think she was just unlucky that 2016 was an incredibly strong year. I thought her staging was a little bit underwhelming as well. But generally you can take it as guaranteed that Norway will qualify, and actually you should almost be always counting on Norway being top 10. They've been top 10 6 times in the last 10 years. I personally think that Norway, I'm officially calling that Norway has taken over as being the top Nordic pop country. Now, controversy, I know that Sweden are the default country kings of Nordic pop. Personally, Melodi Festival for me in the last couple of years has been really shit. And this year, the first heat of Melodi Festival I thought was absolutely terrible. Now, there's still good songs on Melodi Festival, but it seems to be that there's like a couple really awesome songs and then they're like a big load of crap. Whereas you're looking at Norway, the average is much, much higher. You've still got those like several good songs, but the average level is just much, much better. So for me, I think Norway get overshadowed by Sweden a bit too much. I think in recent years, Norway have been much stronger than Sweden. Again, in terms of an overall national final, I think Melodi Grand Prix has been much better than Melodi Festival. And so I'd like to see Norway get like a little bit more recognition for that. I still do think that people's go-to for who's the best pop country is Sweden. I would like to see that gradually change. I think Norway have very consistently, like this is not just in the last 10 years, like they've been top 10 constantly since 1990. Let's go from 93, 15 top 10s, including 2 wins. That's obscene. That is absolutely disgustingly amazing. So yeah, I absolutely, I adore Norway in Eurovision. I always cover every single semi-final of Melodi Grand Prix, and I do reactions after the show as well, so I love it. Again, this isn't one of my top 3 songs for Melodi Grand Prix, but the fact that it's like one of the lower down songs and it's still amazing, and I still think it has potential to come top 10, is really great. I think the staging will need to be elevated a little bit. We know that just a couple more maybe fresh ideas. I like the styling concepts already, and I like a lot of things which I've already mentioned. I think in terms of the song, we need to be realistic that the jury is going to penalize this. That kind of high tempo, frenetic beat that's very similar to Clara Hammerström. I don't think juries are going to gravitate towards that. It does have like a slightly tacky feel to it. I think Euro fans are going to absolutely love this. This is very much the type of music that we kind of as a niche gravitate to more than the mainstream. Although this is doing well with charting. It is doing well with charting. The strength of the performer is undeniable, and I think that should get some jury votes as well. And also the fact she does the big note, we know, as we call the jury note. I still do think that her televote's going to be higher than her jury. I don't think a win is possible. I don't think a song like this can win because I just don't think it's groundbreaking enough to get the win, but definitely top 10 is on the cards. Could it get to top 5? It's very early in the season. We don't have that many songs. I think the standard this year is going to be extremely high. So we've already got like 10 candidates for top 5. So we haven't had 20 of the songs yet. So I think it's very too early for me to say this could be top 5. But I think top 10 is achievable with some clever modifications to pander to the jury. But big fan of this. Absolutely love her. I think she's an absolute queen. She is the queen of kings. I love that the Queen of Kings is sitting at the top of the Eurovision scoreboard amongst pretty much entirely male athletes. I tweeted about that, but I forgot about Albina. Okay, let's have a look at the Eurovision scoreboard. She is number 1, but we've only got 7 songs so far. Okay, that's what I thought about Alessandra singing Queen of Kings for Norway at Eurovision 2023. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and thanks so much for watching. I'm seeing another Eurovision reaction video very soon. Goodbye.